All right, so we have a pair of tickets to give away for Wednesday night. San Diego State back at Viejas against Air Force. Mountain West play continues. And after our conversation with Ryan Badrtalei, who's with us right now, San Diego State first-year assistant coach will give those tickets away. So be listening. We've got a pair of tickets. San Diego State Air Force Wednesday night at 7:30, a game you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. It's great to have Ryan back with us on John and Jim. First of all, Coach, thank you and Happy New Year, and congratulations on Saturday as well.
Hey, Happy New Year to you, too. Thank you so much for having me. Great road win for us. Great way to start the year. We're excited to keep it going. We didn't end the year as well as we'd liked, but we started it off on the right foot. Feel like we got a little bit of that back, but we got to continue to build on that momentum.
Tell us about, it's amazing because you turn the tables on Boise on the glass. They were one of the better rebounding teams in America. They were plus 10 per game, and you finished the game plus 10, out rebounding Boise State 39-29. And it's not the only time this year that SDSU's been really good on the glass against really good rebounding teams. I'm thinking about Cal, Utah State, Houston, and now Boise State. What are you seeing from this team as they progress, specifically in the rebounding areas?
I think it's just an intent. I mean, for us, it's continue to be focused on the things that we have, that are a task for us. Rebounding is going to be huge for us. I think Magoon Guap has taken a huge step on both sides of the glass in terms of understanding what physicality and contact means. That's been great for him. Our guards have been really active on the glass as well. We want to run. I mean, we want to get out and run, and we've told them the only way that we're going to get out and run is all five guys are going to have to go to the glass, and we're going to have to be able to use our speed and athleticism once we rebound, and I think they've taken to that. And then on the other side of the ball, just being more aggressive on the offensive glass. I mean, we talk about getting through the elbows with our guards, being more, active on that side of the ball as well. And so I think just the intent and focus on that has helped us improve because we're certainly athletic and long enough to be able to do it.
Obviously you want to learn things in wins and not in losses, but the loss to Utah State, having the big lead, blowing that in the late minutes of that game, I couldn't help but notice during the closing minutes against Boise here, Dutch was screaming a lot, finish, finish, finish. How important was it to make sure that game didn't slip away from you against Boise? And how, I guess as a coach, how nice is it to be put in that situation right away and then come out on the other side with a win?
Well, going back to the Utah State game, I mean, after the game we said, hey, we didn't want it to come then, but we knew we were going to have to learn through a loss one of these times because we hadn't had to really taste our medicine in a couple of the other wins where we hadn't finished as great as we wanted to. And unfortunately, it came at home against Utah State in a really important game. But that pain is important a lot of times for young teams and teams that are growing together. This team grows every time we take the court. We haven't played a ton of games together yet, and so every one of these games is an incredible opportunity for us to grow and to learn, more about each other and how to play and how to finish games, and so we went through that, and I think we're better for it in the Boise State game, and so that shows growth, and we got to learn from a win. I mean, we watched the last 2 minutes again today after practice of the Boise State game because we weren't great. We have to finish better, and we have to be able to make those plays, and so we got to make our free throws. We got to be able to attack a press, better. And so those are all things we're learning. And so we got to learn off a win this time. And hopefully we continue to learn off wins rather than losses.
Ryan Badrtalei is with us, San Diego State assistant coach. Again, the Aztecs of Air Force Wednesday night at 7:30. We'll give away a pair of tickets in just a few moments. Miles Bird, a career high in terms of points. He just continues to impress. What's it been like from your seat to watch him every day in practice and the way he's performed on the floor so far this year?
I think the biggest thing for Miles is just his growth as a young man more than anything, and that's what you enjoy as much as anything as a college coach is watching young men, grow and develop. And as much as anything, and obviously I think a lot of people see the growth in his production, but I think both, on and off the court, I mean, he's become more of an everyday guy. He's shown up every day, both, as an athlete and as a leader. Taking care of his body, making sure he recovers the right way so that he can be available every day. Those are huge areas of growth, and he's been able to see the results of that, that commitment. And I think that's important for him as he continues to grow within our program. And so it's fun to be able to see, him be able to enjoy some of those fruits of his labor, but he also knows that he's just scratching the surface in terms of what he can be. But it's been really fun to see him, grow as a leader in this team because, again, his role is significantly different than what it was last year. And so that's been a huge change, too. So even though he's a common face amongst fans and people around here, his role is really different, and especially as a leader and being consistent. And so I think that's really important.
Taj DeGorville named Freshman of the Week in the Mountain West Conference. He had a great game against Boise, 13 points, 6 rebounds in the win. Like, he's not playing like a freshman, Coach. I mean, watching the Farrow, I know he was out last game, but him and Taj, I mean, these guys, it feels like they are well beyond their years so far already at the stage that they're at.
Well, I'm glad you see that because I don't think that every day with these guys. There are knuckleheads, and they're an absolute joy to be around and to coach. And again, those are two guys that, I think especially in college basketball, like, our job as coaches is to make our guys do hard things consistently. And that's not comfortable all the time, especially for young guys that are typically the best guys where they're coming from and things are a little bit easy for them. And so we have to make them uncomfortable. And the fact that both those guys have leaned into that discomfort is exactly why they've grown at the rate that they've grown. And they've still got a long way to go, and they'd be the first ones to admit that. But it's really exciting for us to see both those guys take huge strides, mostly because they have accepted coaching and they accepted the things that are hard from them. And that's been great. And I think those guys will continue to grow and develop, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where, you play high school basketball and AAU basketball and you can guard your man, but how do you guard more than one guy? How do you give your teammate, support and be there for them when things break down? And I think that's the growth that we're seeing more than anything from both Taj and Farrow.
Ryan Badrtalei is with us. We'll give away tickets for Wednesday night, San Diego State Air Force coming up. Speaking of Air Force, what does it take? Obviously, they play a unique style with intricacies of Princeton-style offense. What does it take to prepare for a team that plays in a style that not a lot of teams play in?
Well, as Dutch says all the time, no matter what they look like on film, and that's every team in our league, we're going to get a different version of that when we play them because, the bar is set with San Diego State basketball, and every team that comes in here is going to want to measure themselves and see how good they are, and the opportunity to do that is against us. And so we know we're going to get the best version of Air Force, and they're a good team. They're a team that shoots it well. They're a team that plays a matchup zone, which is kind of hard to figure out a little bit, especially if you're trying to figure it out like a puzzle. You got to play good offense. You got to play for each other. You got to drive the ball. You got to go inside. You got to get to the offensive glass, and you got to run in transition. But they do a lot of different things that try to confuse you, and they do a good job turning teams over. So we're going to have to take care of the ball. We're going to have to run on them. We're going to have to be aggressive. And then defensively, we're going to have to be us. We're going to have to pressure the ball. We're going to have to take away threes. We're going to have to limit their second chance points. I mean, we're going to have to be good on both sides of the ball, to play, to beat against a good Air Force team that is good. They've been competitive, throughout the year. And so they're very dangerous, as we well know, and we're going to have to take care of business at home.
Yeah, coming off a close game and a loss to Wyoming. Air Force, I think, lost by 5 points in their last game this past weekend. Ryan, thank you again. We're looking forward to Wednesday night, San Diego State and the Air Force Academy. Again, Happy New Year. We'll see you at Viejas, and thanks for hopping on today.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, great stuff. Ryan Badrtalei, have enjoyed speaking with him in his first year on the Mesa, San Diego State assistant coach for Brian Dutcher, and we did promise you some Aztec basketball tickets. So why don't we give those away right now, because on the other side, we'll continue to react